Relive the most memorable fashion moments of 2018 coming up on The Year in Fashion. 2018 was daring, dramatic, dazzling, diverse, divine, and dangerous. In this edition of The Year in Fashion, we're recapping the best of the runway, the red carpet, and more. Tom Ford brings LA glamour to the Big Apple.
What better way to start New York Fashion Week than by Tom Ford with probably one of the most exciting shows of the week?
It's a style celebration in Milan at Etro's 50th anniversary show. Thom Browne decamps to Paris.
For me, I like it to take people away, and I like people to laugh or cry or, have fun with it.
And Julien Macdonald keeps the party going in London.
Fabulous, fun, glamorous. This is the world of Julien Macdonald for one night only.
Find out how fashion embraced diversity in 2018.
What is perfect? Perfect doesn't exist. Embrace your body, embrace yourself.
Style stars and fashion fans are blessed with the Met Costume Institute's 2018 Gala and its sacred theme.
I'm the back wall of the Sistine Chapel, so I feel fairly important in this outfit, I have to say.
Later, Christian Siriano marks a major milestone. And Carolina Herrera's final runway show is bittersweet.
So much legacy that Carolina leaves for us, starting with being one of the first Latina women to really make it in the world of high fashion.
Plus, see why Rihanna ruled the stage, the red carpet, and the runway in 2018.
I love Rihanna. I love Rihanna's music. I love Rihanna's style. I'm a man of a particular age, but I still love Rihanna.
And more on The Year in Fashion 2018.
What better way to start New York Fashion Week than by Tom Ford with probably one of the most exciting shows of the week in terms of anticipation. It was a big show for him. Generally, it's always a little bit smaller, a little more intimate.
Well, I think Tom Ford is back better than ever, stronger than ever. It was sexy, it was modern, it was relevant, and it really proved to everyone that Tom Ford is an incredible designer from head to toe. The production was beautiful. It was a show. You could always count on Tom Ford for a major moment.
The collection is incredible, of course. It's also quite one of the highs of New York because he's such a bigger-than-life character, and the perfume, of course.
Well, firstly, I just can I swear on this, because that fragrance, we received a fragrance called Fabulous. And that is what I love about Tom Ford, just goes for it, really kind of fearless. And I like the fact that he's really going more into sort of ready-to-wear as well, a little more, some shorts and some shoes and everything else. But then you go to the party, which is afterwards, and then there's shirtless men, as there should be on any good Wednesday night.
I think some of the strongest ideas were the tuxedo jacket in bright colors with shoulder pads. If anyone could bring back a strong power shoulder, it will be Tom Ford.
It was very kind of a nod to the 80s with the strong shoulders and the draping, and yeah, so it was cool.
There was a denim bra top and trousers that I already poked my team, and I was like, we should shoot that. And a pinky jacket, an orangey pink jumpsuit that Mika Aragonaz was wearing. She always gets the coolest look. Whenever Mika walks down, she's always in the coolest thing, and I'm always like, that'll never be me. But yeah, the great color combinations, sexy sorbet. I think he was doing more ready to wear and less evening. He was always going to do the evening beat, but he did tell Business of Fashion that he wanted to do some more ready to wear stuff because he wants to be a $2 billion empire, right? And I'm all for it.
I thought it was pretty damn good. It reminded me, I think everyone, a lot of elements was working Gucci and maybe above all Saint Laurent, which was ironic given the departure of the great Pierre Berger, sadly this weekend. I thought, though, there was a sense of a brand that's happening in a way. I think he had a bigger struggle than most people realized to make it operate. He opened a lot of stores. I think it was quite tough for him, but he's had the chutzpah and the drive and the energy and the optimism of you Americans to create this global brand.
Well, I think what Thom did this season is go back to his roots, which is sexy, modern, and strong. He does it really well. And the shoes were fantastic. I thought those shoes were killer.
The really best part of that show was when the lights came down and then the mega girls walked in those beautiful evening dresses. I mean, that's his star power. That's what's going to work on the red carpet. That's what we're going to see in Hollywood. And, you know, with Julianne Moore and Kim Kardashian and Ciara and Chaka Khan and Liev Schreiber and Ansel Elgort, I mean, Cindy Crawford, Helena Christensen, the list just went on and on.
It was nice to see that back in New York at a season when so many people are fleeing the city that he came back and took a bow at a big show.
It's a show that in a way celebrates also next year, which we're celebrating 50 years of the brand. And actually it was founded in 1968, which was the year really of a lot of
revolution,
things.
counterculture, the hippie movement. So you should imagine our father dressed in a hippie way with paisley, putting patchouli and vetiver on. So it's really, we should enter that moment in time. And it's a moment where people were looking for peace and harmony. So this is also what this collection is about.
The collection has been mounted and constructed like a crescendo. So you have the whites at the beginning, and then slowly, like a little blank canvas of a painter, he starts like painting and coloring, and then came the acids, the spice color, at the end the psychedelics, colorful, vibrant colors. So it's all mounted really for an explosion of light and like
festivity. All the light here, we didn't close anything. The beginning was all white, so an idea of white and light. And then you have the Ninth Symphony of Beethoven, which is an ode to joy and light. So nothing just thrown like that. They borrowed a lot from the ladies, so this was a great occasion, which usually is not, you know, they're not allowed, as if. So a lot of brooches, embroidery, which, you know, all these spille, all these like diamonds, which I love, you know, the core, you know, with a meaning, so to give light. And we enjoyed it. We just, you know, started sharing things and pieces on Sunday, mixing the collection, and it came like a river, just, you know, like light, easy.
next 50 years. Be free and enjoy life and be light and always keep smiling.
And love. A lot of love for everyone.
The reference that Thom sent me was a bald girl, completely bald. And I said, well, you know, Thom, I'm actually a hairdresser. And he was like, yeah, I know, but he sent me that because I think what he was feeling was a very small head. I wanted to do something that was really outer-worldly, totally perfect, kind of abstractly glamorous. Kind of thought of Saturn, and I thought maybe we could do like this really small head with this kind of rim that goes around it, like ring. When you work with Thom, you get a reference, and that kind of instigates the creative exchange. It's just fantastic, right? Just being allowed to kind of have an opportunity to actually be really creative.
It was, you know, a little girl's fantasy. She gets going to bed and, you know, maybe she has a little bit of nightmare, but then she, you know, starts dreaming and it's a fantasy. And so the beginning, like really, it was there. This was the planet that the two girls that you saw, the Lucian Freud-esque, you know, images that came out, who were so beautiful, by the way. Then the spaceship came, and then the girls in the collection were actually coming into their world. The fabrics were all classically referenced American fabrics that I use all the time, like madras plaids and seersuckers, but redeveloping them all in tulle, because the whole collection was in tulle. And then really I play with proportion all the time, and it was important for me to take the classic tailoring and reproportion it, play with the shoulders, play with the, you know, even just the length of the bottoms that went with the jackets. Well, there was one jacket that took one person 3 weeks to make. This is why I'm in fashion. The business is important and I love, you know, every part of it, but it needs to start from this fantasy. And it's really, really important to me. Well, I've been in Paris for my men's for a long time, so, you know, I wanted to see what it was like for women's, and it's, you know, partly a business decision too. You know, the thing that, you know, Paris just appreciates conceptual fashion so much, and I do approach my collections from a pure conceptual point of view and a pure design point of view. So I wanted to open it up to here, to Paris. I think fashion, you know, should be seriously thought of as, you know, a true craft and, you know, art in a way. And for me, it should be fantasy. You should make people think with what you're doing. You spend so much time doing it, you might as well do something important. For me, I like it to take people away, and I like people to laugh or cry or, you know, have fun with it. And then you saw at the end of the show that they were actually wishing that they could stay in this beautiful place with these two beautiful women.
I am creating Straight Up Luxe, which is a really beautiful modern straight. Luckily, my fantastic model here was saying she misses straight hair, and I think women really do. So we're pressing the hair with the GHD Platinum to get that really beautiful shine. We've blow dried the hair. It's a really beautiful modern take on a 90s sort of supermodel inspiration.
We're doing like a feline eye, very dark, very sculptured skin and face, very strong highlights and shadow. We're using like a goldy black eyeshadow and black eyeliner, like a kajal, so it's smudged in. We're creating quite a strong line, slightly winged up. We're using a contour powder and some glosses and glows. It's very sexy, it's oozing glamour, and that's the girl we're doing today.
There's always an inspiration behind a collection, but my inspiration is my life, my travel, my lifestyle. And this is the world of Julien Macdonald for one night only. You know what, there's so much rubbish going on in the world today. Political, environmental, and do you know what? I thought, well, let's kind of blow it all up, blow everything up and start a new world. A utopia of beautiful men and beautiful women where we don't argue, we don't have any political views, but we just live in a world which is the world of the future, a world of avatar, of beauty and tranquility. But at the end of all these things, there's always a dangerous element of people wanting to ruin our perfect world. It's fun, it's glamorous, it's strong, it's confident. If you know Beyonce, Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, those are my kind of women. Incredible pieces of beauty, elegance, glamour, clothes that celebrate a human being of all different shapes and sizes and ages, and a collection that enhances everything about what we achieve to or aspire to in life.
My first look is a beautiful, beautiful piece. It's a ruffle, short dress, very Julien, sexy, spontaneous, you know, very power woman. Yeah, I feel sexy, confident. I feel like I could rule the world in his clothes.
What are supermodels now? You know, the Kate and Naomi, the supermodels are the new Instagram girls. The Hailey Baldwins, you know, are those kind of girls. We've got the blonde Barbie in. People utilize press in a very different way now. It's no longer about a cover on a magazine. It's about how many Instagram followers do you have? My show is full of technology and future, and women and men who inspire millions of people rather than the cover of a magazine. We are in a world of change. I've introduced gorgeous prints for the first time ever. Like if you went to a new world, what would be the new foliage? What would be the new plants? So new flowers, new ferns, new nocturnal flowers, because perhaps we never had any sun. So how would these plants grow? It's a world of a complete world of fiction and imagination. Fabulous, fun, glamorous. Somebody who wants to forget about their problems for one night only and have a jolly good time.
The runway is a place for fantasy and dreams, but when it comes to casting, more and more designers are looking to represent the reality of our world and to celebrate the diversity of the people living in it. 2018 was the most diverse year yet, with many designers pushing for inclusivity on the runway.
People sometimes think, oh, fashion, it's so frivolous and it's just about how you look, but really we're a business that works with a lot of immigrants, that is run by women in many cases, LGBT community, so it encompasses a lot of oppressed people who need to band together to subdue and oppress the man, okay? So let's get it together, people.
My whole idea where we all grow in the same greenhouse is really about like just celebrating beauty. I just want people to see that everyone is beautiful in their own different way. We have boys, we have shape, we have size, we have everything.
It's like a princess dress. I absolutely love it. And it's really exciting because, you know, you never really see curvy girls in a gown. So I'm excited to walk.
Plus size women represent 15% of the shoppers, and people blame the customer like, oh, she doesn't shop a lot. It's like, no, she doesn't have anything to buy.
I like that he continued his philosophy of being really inclusive and having all sizes on the runway, and also having this message about being stronger in color, which was all over t-shirts of the people as you walked in.
Our casting is a direct representation of the reality of our environment. It represents everything and everyone around us in this city. Why not try to do something different? Why not try to be inclusive in body forms and body shapes and heights and everything? But why not? Let's start a conversation.
A lot of times people come to shows and they're just looking at the clothes, and I think the model just becomes an instrument or a thing wearing the clothes, and it's hard to see them as people. And I wanted everyone to hear what these women had to say and to see the woman in the clothes.
See my spirit, see my intelligence, see my power.
Every season, it's my most important thing, like diversity throughout everything, inclusion of everything. I can't stand it when I see shows or collections that are just really geared towards one genre of person. I kind of want everyone to have a good time.
I
I think having some different array of models is a fantastic showcase of the fact that people are different. What is perfect? Perfect doesn't exist. You know, embrace your body, embrace yourself.
It's not about making a statement that's splashed across the clothes. It's making a statement when you wear the clothes that you wear them and you wear them with great confidence. And that's really what beauty is all about.
FENTY was extraordinary. To start with, we walked into these pink dunes where you felt like otherworldly, right? And as the show started, these incredible motocross guys flying through the air at the Armory. And to beat that were the clothes. The clothes were colorful, they had attitude, they were a mix of sporty but sexy. It was really a very upbeat show with great energy and great attitude.
I love Rihanna. I love Rihanna's music. I love Rihanna's style. I'm a man of a particular age, but I still love Rihanna. And I was actually at her very first show here in New York and fell in love with the collection. And I continue to love what she does over and over and over again. And not because she's Rihanna, but because the clothes are actually super, uber amazing and cool. Granted, there were motorcycles that were like flying over big piles of pink mountains and all sorts of theatrics. The clothes hold up to all of the drama that you see on the runway. The idea of all of this kind of safety strapping, the buckles, the belts, a lot of the idea of a lot of gathering and courting that's happening on the runway. She interpreted it in a super chic way with a lot of nylon, neon color, which I really am craving and I want more of because I think it's super 80s. It has a little bit of a punk spirit, but she took that very 80s punk spirit and she brought it back to this whole idea of athleticism that has been an important trend for many seasons now, but she did it in a very cool way.
I think that she's really sort of found that sweet spot between creating, putting her stardust on something and still letting the brand speak so that it feels like PUMA and it feels like athletic wear. It feels like stuff that you'd want to wear, but it's also special and definitely cool.
At the end of the day, we all love Rihanna, but she does it well. She delivers an amazing show. She does it the way that fashion wants it to be done, and she gives us really cool clothes that people want to wear. And only she can ride around a runway for her finale on the back of a motorcycle.
The starting point for this season, actually, I went on very early. I went on a trip to Marfa with my fiance, and my grandmother had passed away, so we were, going back and forth to Texas. And again, I'm not super thematic. I just went in every single day and sort of tried new things. I was home a lot this time in Texas, and I was, cleaning out my grandmother's house and being around my family and my friends, and I was really sort of looking at the things that I had loved growing up, whether it was that sort of classic Texan denim with my dad's skull cannon print on the back, or the, the white shirts and sort of my grandmother's lipstick red. And, those are the things that I really started with in the very beginning. And as I progressed, I sort of saw things coming together, and I think someone before was saying it was very sort of, I guess, all-American. And I wanted it to feel that way because I am, I think, very American, and that's how I felt this time. My life was in such a happy place, so I was making this. So I came to work every day just sort of open to anything, which I don't think was the case in the previous 4. I think I was sort of put my own self in a box, and this time I was like, yeah, try it, it might work. You never know. Obviously, we did denim this season. Denim is so much harder than you would even imagine. It's so hard, but I really enjoyed it. Obviously, we did a leopard jacquard, which is here. Jacquard is just a classic fabric that I've always loved, and leopard is my favorite color other than black. So we wanted to translate that into colors that have been, you know, classic for us, whether it's sort of the pale petal pink, and then obviously this time we added mint and pistachio because those are my 2 other favorite colors. Gigi's dress was Gazar, which is a classic fabric we always use. Yeah, the chiffon was an interesting thing for me. There were 3 pieces of chiffon and they took forever. And I really enjoyed that process. It is so delicate and it's like liquid. You know, I've always been somebody, I think, who's traditionally made very rigid, stiff things. And I don't know, my life felt very liquid and flowy this time. And I just wanted to try to figure out how to, you know, encapsulate that into a look. And yeah, I thought maybe as I was starting, I was like, maybe there's a lot of things in this collection. But you know what? I also did 4 collections before that didn't have a lot of things. So I don't know, I tried it. It worked for me. I don't know if it worked for you or anyone who's reviewing it, but I'm like happy to go eat pizza after this. I'm feeling like super pumped about it. As my career sort of changed and people, you know, paid attention or whatever that means, I feel like I started to base my self-worth on that, and that's a really dangerous road to be on. I think in the past 6 months, as I've gone through a series of events and my life has changed and opened up, I realized I look back a lot at my childhood. You can hear the 90s music in the show, the early 2000s, you know what I mean? I think I went back to how I felt at that time, and I always remember when I was at school, whether I was the most popular or not, I would always get into the car with one of my girlfriends after school and she would tell me how great I was, and that's where I really derived my self-worth, was being around fantastic, strong, amazing women and them, you know, feeling like feeling like they love me and I love them, and that sort of like beautiful relationship. And that's how I approach this collection. It's like I don't know what anyone's gonna say tomorrow, probably not gonna read a lot of it, but I will definitely keep with me in the morning that Carly Kloss gave me a kiss and said she loved it, and you know, the girls said that they want to wear the dresses, and that makes me happy. So I just need to like keep that with myself, you know? We are a safe space for you. And that's how I've always approached my creative process, is I'm wanting to always be a space for women where they feel comfortable, they can be themselves no matter what they are or how the world sees them. The clothes will change season after season, but that will always remain the same.
As we come through dripping the ice flooded.
Decked out in their Sunday best, the biggest names in fashion and entertainment descended upon the front steps of New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art for a religious fashion experience. The opening night of Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination.
Look at that. Look at that. Angels in America.
To just saw Katy Perry in Wings. I mean, where do you get to see that every day?
I get to see all the blasts from the past. Everyone in the same room. There's not too many galas that brings together people from the art world, from the finance world, from just all over.
While crosses and halos were in abundance, some stars were especially blessed with one-of-a-kind looks inspired by the pious exhibit.
This is my first Met. I'm so excited. And I'm Vera Wang's date. I'm the back wall of the Sistine Chapel. I'm the Last Judgment. I am where Christ decides who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. So I feel fairly important in this outfit, I have to say.
Absolutely, I'm dressed like a queen every day, all day. Crosses, nails, crosses, rings, you know, headpiece, red.
H&M, we collaborated on it. We were inspired by the Crusades. So it's all chain metal, head to toe. Yes, it's very heavy.
Givenchy, we're wearing Givenchy tonight.
This is Thom Browne. He's my buddy, my friend, and a genius. And this dress is in the show also, but in black. So I am a living exhibit tonight.
exact posing. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like $1 million.
It's my friend Elizabeth Kennedy. We based the dress on a tapestry from the Cloisters Museum. And of course, my great-grandfather, John D. Rockefeller, founded the museum. So we really wanted to incorporate the family history as well as honor the theme tonight.
Yes! Hey everybody, we rocking Brandon Maxwell. Brandon Maxwell made this for my body. I'm enjoying it. Are you stressed out? Me neither. All right, we finna have fun. Brandon, let's turn up.
While divine celebrity style was the talk of the red carpet, the stars themselves couldn't wait to witness the sublime exhibition inside.
It's such an important moment. I can't wait to see the exhibition. I hear it's phenomenal. When I performed at the Vatican and I just kind of felt the whole energy for Mother Teresa a long time ago, it's almost bringing all those memories back.
I know that they have curated some amazing art for us, and from what I hear, there are pieces inside that were from the Vatican that have never been on loan before, so I'm really excited to see those things.
The Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art invoked divine inspiration for their 2018 exhibition, Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination.
We try to do exhibitions that have a contemporary relevance and a contemporary resonance, and the idea of art and religion over the last few years in particular, there's a lot of heightened sensitivity around it, heightened awareness. So I wanted really to stage an exhibition that was a platform for debate around art and religion, in this particular case, fashion and Catholicism.
The exhibition looks at how themes of Catholicism have inspired contemporary fashion designers, along with an examination of holy treasures straight from the Vatican's vaults.
The show really sort of unfolds as a pilgrimage. So it starts in the Byzantine galleries with two collections. A collection by Dolce & Gabbana that was inspired by the mosaics at Monreale in Sicily, and then another collection by Gianni Versace, his last collection, that was inspired by the mosaics at Ravenna. And then we go into the medieval sculpture hall, and that's looking at fashions that are inspired by both the earthly hierarchies, priests, cardinals, bishops, the Pope, and also the celestial hierarchy of the cults of saints, angels, and the Virgin Mary. And then we come down to the Anna Wintour Costume Centre with the treasures from the Vatican. There's over 42 treasures from the Vatican collection, and they really are treasures. We have one suite of vestments that was given by the Emperors of Austria to Pope Pius IX that took 15 women 16 years to embroider. The embroidery is so fine, it looks like a jacquard or a painting. And the other highlight, I think, is a papal tiara that was given, again, to Pope Pius IX. He reigned a long time, and by Queen Isabella of Spain, that is comprised of 18,000 diamonds and 1,000 emeralds and sapphires and rubies. So it's an extraordinary work of art.
I think it's fabulous, and we have to be very humble when we see what have been done before about all that religious, like the clothes are absolutely incredible, the one of the Vatican. And I must say that I was very surprised when I saw the quality, I imagine, but not at that point. On Broadway, which of the ones that are, it look like a photographic thing, like printed. And when you move a little like that, you can see that it like some lights that make something else, you know, another vision. It's like truly, it's beautiful. We don't know what it is, if it is fabric, if it is what, you know, painting or whatever. And like laked, and in reality it's only the thread, a silk thread of course, but made in a way of moving. It's like 3D effect in reality, hologram effect more, I should say. So it's good, and you get very humble when you see all that, and you say, my God, the work at that time was absolutely incredible. And it's truly like beautiful.
The exhibit, the largest the Costume Institute has ever staged, unfolds across two museums, the Met and the Met Cloisters, located at the northern tip of Manhattan.
It ends in the Met Cloisters in northern Manhattan in Fort Tryon Park, which to me is sort of like the pinnacle of the exhibition. The relationships between the fashions and the artworks are so precise and so poetic, and your engagement with them are more intimate and personal than they are here. So I really do encourage people to go up there to the cloisters.
It's so moving to see these pieces
associated with the objects that have sort of inspired designers' imaginations, and I think you kind of have a sense of the sort of reverence of craft, of the couture, and all this hours and hours of handwork. And then at the Anna Wintour Costume Centre there are those incredible vestments that have been worked by whole convents of nuns in this devotional way. It's very moving, I think. All the juxtapositions that Andrew Bolton has set up, I think, are really powerful.
For over 37 years, Carolina Herrera has brought her signature brand of elegance and style to the fashion world. 36 hours before her Fall 2018 show, it was announced that she would be stepping down, passing the creative reins to a new creative director, Wes Gordon, and moving forward as her label's global brand ambassador.
Carolina and I have been friends for a very long time, over 40 years, and we're pals, and I'm just so happy to be here to see this last show.
There are so many emotions surrounding this show. As soon as I heard the news, I was thinking about this a lot. And Carolina Herrera is probably one of the last bastions of civility that we have in the fashion industry. Yet she's handed the reins to a young person in Wes Gordon who also embodies that in a youthful way. So the good news here is civility is not dead, and the bad news is Carolina is stepping aside.
You know what, I had the privilege of sitting next to her at dinner last night, and it struck me once again how incredibly elegant she is and sophisticated in the true sense of the word and everything she's ever designed. And I was talking to her about this moment, and she said that she just was waiting to be able to pass her legacy to the right person. And I applaud her decision. I know Wes, I know his work. I think he's shown himself in the last couple seasons to be the right person. So I can barely imagine what it feels like to step away, but I think she can sleep very well at night and hold her head up anywhere in the world knowing that she's left an imprint, and a very beautiful one.
I think that what she's given fashion will continue because she's about timeless style, and when you look at her and you look at the clothes, they're going to last forever. So, you know, it's great to be here. I can't wait to see what she's doing, but I'm sure that Wes will continue the tradition in exactly the right way.
Oh my God, so much legacy that Carolina leaves for us, starting with being one of the first Latina women to really make it in the world of high fashion. She leaves us with an incredible legacy of elegance. I think that nobody understands elegance as much as Carolina, and she's a great inspiration. She will be missed, even though I don't think she's really leaving. But yeah, she's an incredible role model as well.
She's been my mentor. She was, ever since I was one of the winners for Vogue CFDA Fashion Fund, she was my mentor, and she's been the greatest help. One of the reasons where I'm today, since I started, is because of her. So I'm eternally grateful, and you know, Wes is a friend of mine, so I'm very happy about that passing of the torch. But like, it's really, you know, it's one of those moments where you think about it, you know, at the end of an era. Not that she's going anywhere. You know, she's always there with her grace and her amazing sense of humor. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, touching.
Carolina is the epitome of style, of grace, of sophistication, and she's the loveliest person anyone could get to know.
I think her designs are so timeless and elegant, and I always think of a beautiful, crisp white shirt. You feel very feminine and girly, like I feel tonight.
I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, that's what's expected from her, but like, it was also very emotional, but so gracefully done, you know. And what we saw today is a lesson for everyone. I think designers and fashion people, everyone, that what remains constant is style, not necessarily trend, you know. And she is the epitome of that.
What a beautiful homage at the end with the ball skirts, with the pockets and the white shirt and all of those multitude of colors. But the collection was sharp, fierce, modern, which is all of the things that Carolina is, by the way. She was always modern. She was always using technical fabric. She was always looking for something new, but in the milieu of her customer. And it's going to be a great loss, but it's really exciting to see what's going to be happening.
I think it's great to have Thom, you know, anchoring the men's shows again. I think it's a big thing to have him and important for us in New York, and it was exciting for that reason, for sure.
I mean, thank God for Tom Ford. I feel like it's so New York, and we need the glamour. So, I mean, you know, he always delivers what you expect, some animal print, some super expensive excitement. But, you know, the eyewear I thought was amazing.
I mean, I always have thought that his strength is in his menswear. I mean, I think he sets the bar really high there. And as I jokingly said to someone in describing it, you know, I would say, oh yeah, he did this pink shiny suit, which sounds insane. But, you know, it was the right shade of pink, and it was the right cut, and it was beautifully tailored, and it had just the right amount of shine. So, I mean, I thought that it had a real balance between glamour, youth, and just sort of technical expertise.
I love the palette. I love the fact that he sticks to his own silhouette. You know, like he's not doing the bum freezer thing. I have a certain affection for the bum freezer, but I think that, you know, Thom being able to see you know, have the confidence of a designer of his level who can really just do what he likes with the lapels and the shoulders and the links of the trousers, and the whole vibe of it, I think, it has a freshness to it in that way. I know the palette was really great, and I think there were some real standout pieces.
And I have to give them a big applause for such a diverse casting. I mean, I've never seen so many Asian models on a runway, and so that was amazing. And of course, I love the underwear section, and that's not just because I'm a horny old man. But I just thought, you know, I went backstage afterwards, and he said that they had dyed the socks to match the skin tone of the models, which is sort of such a Tom Ford touch. It just felt great and New York and glamorous and international, and that's really what Thom does.
I'm so excited. This is my first Christian show, and he called me and said, please, please, please. And I said, yes, yes, yes. So I'm very excited for his show tonight.
Christian's inspiration was 18th century English paintings, and mine was Grace Jones. So somewhere we've fused the two together and come up with, you know, this slightly punky look, but an easy punk. So we've gone with pink on the eyes, and then underneath just some black with a little bit of blue in the corner, keeping the skin quite clean, and then a natural lift.
It's just a magical celebration. It feels so good to be a part of. The whole ethos of his brand is just celebration and beauty and showcasing that. So it's amazing to be a part of. Happy anniversary, Christian. I love you.
10 years. It's exciting, you know. I think it's always, you know, it feels like we kind of, I don't know, even 10 years later, it's like doesn't get easier. But it's still exciting, and I still love what I do. And I think the collection has turned out really great. I mean, I really wanted it to feel almost like this kind of royal dinner party kind of idea. We took a lot of inspiration from the Queen's Gallery in London. I wanted to kind of throw it back to where I started. I studied in London. I wanted to have that kind of British punk-esque feel, but in the most regal, elegant kind of way. We have shorts and easy pieces and suits and all these things that you can wear during the day, but you still feel dressed. I mean, that's always I think our person, our woman, or whoever wants to wear the clothes, I think that they should always feel that. You know, it's about, you know, getting dressed and feeling good about yourself. I think that's why the show is filled with, you know, diverse beauty today. We're seeing men, women, trans, large, small. I wanted everyone because I think beauty is, it's what you think of it as, and I think that was very important today.
I think it gives women confidence. Like every time when I wear something
of his, like I always feel like a woman, you know? Like he gives you the strength, you know, like the power, and when you walk down the runway, that's an amazing feeling.
What Christian does is it's always feminine, it's exciting, and it's something that is for her. It's not something that is made for just one kind of woman, it's made for all kinds of women.
I mean, I think he was really one of the first designers in the last few years to kind of go out on a limb and say, like, I'm not going to, you know, be part of this like snobby industry, and I'm going to dress whoever asks me to, basically. You know, I think it's no surprise that he came from Project Runway and kind of this like democratic idea of fashion, and that he's really been the champion for it.
I mean, I feel super proud that we're able to put it out there. I'm really glad that finally there's those options, that, you know, there's agencies that are representing girls of shape and size. I'm excited that, you know, people finally notice that that's, you know, important in our culture right now, especially.
I mean, it's priceless what he does. It's something that I feel like more people should take note on, because if you're going to be about women, you need to realize that there's a lot of different kinds of them, and so it's really imperative to, you know, to have all of them be the face of your brand. So I think, you know, he nails it.
It was so fantastic. I loved it. It honestly took my breath away. He's so talented.
Spectacular, spectacular. It's everything you wanted it to be and more. I mean, I wanted everything. I want to wear everything. I saw everything, the shoes, I want to wear all of it.
Keep it going. That's my dream for the next 10. I think the number one thing is that I still love doing this. I just love making clothes. Whether people, whatever, like them or not everybody will love them, but I think the people that do love them, you can tell that they love them, and that feels good. And I hope that we can just continue to do that.